On the evening of November 5th, tens of thousands of people in NRG Park in Houston waited in anticipation of rapper Travis Scott's performance. Let's go! But revelry quickly turned to tragedy. Ten people died and dozens were injured. To illuminate what happened amid the crowd, the Washington Post gathered dozens of videos from that night and examined them to determine where and when each was taken. We interviewed witnesses.
Got sucked into this black hole, basically.
And we had experts analyze the movements of the crowd and its density in key areas. The Post investigation found that at least 7 of those who later died were located in one area of the audience. 3 of those victims can be seen unconscious amid a pile of fans on the ground about 16 minutes into the show, which continued for nearly an hour. The review also reveals that minutes into Scott's show, that same section had pockets of extremely high density, according to a crowd analysis done for the Post. A circumstance that 3 experts said increased the risk of a dangerous crowd collapse. 3 crowd science experts told the Post that a surge toward the main stage would have compressed people into this area that had rigid metal barriers on 3 sides and left little way for them to escape the building pressure. A criminal investigation is ongoing, and the causes of deaths have not been made public. But the Post's reconstruction, which includes exclusively obtained videos, shows how one section of the audience became an epicenter of chaos. Fans arrive at NRG Park in the early morning on Friday, long before the gates open. Over the next few hours, while some shop, eat, and attend daytime concerts, videos show instances of scattered mayhem. Fans break perimeter fences, rush entrances, and storm security checkpoints. The festival is a sprawling site with a main stage where Scott will perform in the evening and a secondary stage for the day's other performances. The audience section at the main stage covers roughly the area of 3 football fields. The metal barriers divide a smaller section close to the stage into quadrants to the north, south, east, and west, creating pathways used by security and medical personnel to move through the crowd. Throughout the day, devoted Scott fans stake out their spots around the main stage. By 6, attendees are filling the area, with Scott's performance still 3 hours away.
Around 7 was when obviously everyone was there, like thousands of people were there. I was already getting really pushed against the barricade.
A show at the secondary stage by singer SZA wraps up at about 8:30, and a flood of festival goers moves from there toward the main stage's south quadrant, according to witnesses. A concert goer described getting caught in the current flowing toward the main stage, unable to move in the opposite direction.
We actually wanted to get out. Like, one of the girls I was with, she was like, hey, I don't want to do this, I want to get out. So we were trying to get out, but we just kept getting pushed forward and forward.
As the crowd balloons, a large timer counts down to the start of the main stage event. Scott's show begins around 9, and the crowd erupts in excitement as he enters. Let's go!
As soon as Travis reaches the stage, there's just a whole different, shift into the crowd.
Video shows the crowd in the south quadrant swaying at the beginning of the concert. 9-year-old Ezra Blunt, an avid Scott fan, is atop his father's shoulders in a video that a lawyer for the family confirmed is the boy. Madison Dubisky, 23, at the show with her brother, is in the same area, according to another video obtained by the Post. Close by, 27-year-old Donish Baig and his fiancée try to escape the crowd, but they fall shortly after the concert begins, according to a family lawyer. All 3 are among the 7 concertgoers who died and appear in the Post investigation. The identities and locations of the other victims were confirmed by relatives or family representatives.
Once the crowd was moving, you were moving with it. You were at the mercy of the crowd, pretty much. There was no way you would have been able to move around or keep yourself stable.
Using tracking software, a physicist analyzed the crowd's movement in the south quadrant for the post at about 3 minutes into Scott's performance. Over 5 seconds, the trajectory of 12 randomly selected people is similar. Evidence, he said, that the people were being pushed in the same direction by the tide of the crowd, losing control of independent movement and not merely moving to the music. At the post's request, researchers at Carnegie Mellon University used a crowd counting model to estimate the density in the area where the post-examination located victims. They found that roughly 3 minutes into the concert, in some pockets of the area where the video image was clearest, the density reached as high as 1.85 square feet per person. The researchers noted that the actual density for the section was likely higher than their estimate, because the image from the scene was taken at night with low resolution and showed smoke from fireworks, making some people difficult to detect. A density of 1.5 square feet per person can cause compressive asphyxiation with so little space that people cannot draw a breath, according to the crowd experts. One calls it a crushing point.
I was like, man, this is not safe. Like, I started to notice, I look in front of me, I see people crying. I look in the side of me, I see my friends, they're yelling for help. They're saying, we got to get out.
About 5 minutes into the show, a video exclusively obtained by the Post shows desperation in the area immediately adjacent to Ezra Blunt in the South Quadrant.
She can't breathe! She can't breathe!
Around the same time, people shout for help nearby. A 23-year-old college student, Rudy Pena, another of those who died, is seen wedged among people who are fighting for space, according to his family's lawyer.
People started trying to hop over that security fence, and people were pinned up against it. You could see the panic and fear in their eyes. These fenced-off crowd areas, they allowed nowhere to escape. It was one way in, one way out.
As people in the crowd try to get out, others fall on top of each other, similar to a scene one witness described.
And, we all got sucked into this black hole, basically. It's kind of like pulling the tub on the bathtub. Everyone just gets sucked in.
A phenomenon known as crowd collapse, when high density and other factors can cause people to fall on top of each other, is clearly evident at about 9:12 p.m., two experts said. Video filmed around 16 minutes into the concert, which the Post is not displaying because of its graphic nature, shows what appears to be several unconscious people lying atop each other. Among them is 21-year-old engineering and computer science student Axel Acosta, one of the deceased. Best friends and college students 20-year-old Jacob Juranek and 21-year-old Franco Patino are both visible in the same video and died that night. At 9:18, a Houston firefighter outside the venue, but monitoring radio communication channels used inside the festival, notes a, quote, report of individual with crush injury, breathing difficulty. Flare-ups in more areas of the venue become evident in the next several minutes. But other concertgoers are unaware of any life-threatening distress.
People obviously were like pushing and stuff, and no one was on the ground in the area I was at. We didn't hear anyone saying, stop the show. We didn't hear anyone saying, oh, people are getting hurt.
At around 9:28, video shows other people are on the ground in the South Quadrant, pleading for help and dialing 911.
People were literally on the floor getting their faces stomped in. We were just trying to pull kids over that barricade.
Around a half hour into the performance, fans continue to try and summon help. A man from the crowd attempts to scale a platform to reach camera operators to stop the show.
Exactly right. Someone in there. People are fucking dying. I want to say somebody's.
The Houston firefighters log notes at 9:30 that police are reporting, quote, multiple people trampled, passed out at front of stage. At that point, an emergency vehicle with flashing lights tries to make its way through the crowd in the east.
What the fuck is that? If everybody good, put a middle finger up in the sky. Okay, where my guy, man? Come on.
At 9:39, with the concert continuing, Houston Fire makes the first call captured in a public communications channel for backup.
Special events stands by. Ambulance 33, Ambulance 37, Ambulance 46.
These paramedics, they were battling to try to fight their way through to get to people that were in the crowd, as well as trying to have people pass bodies over that fence in that walkway.
Scott pauses mid-song at around 9:42 and asks security to help a person passed out near the front of the main stage.
Jump in, come on.
Security and Houston police carry the man out of the crowd. Meanwhile, festival goers in the South Quadrant wave their arms and chant in unison for an end to the concert. At 9:43, a photo shows Rudy Pena, the college student seen earlier, removed from the crowd and receiving medical attention. His attorney told the Post that although the medical examiner has not yet released a cause of death, Pena's face was disfigured due to being stepped on. Around 9:46 in the South Quadrant, medical personnel do chest compressions on at least 2 people. The fire incident commander declares the scene a mass casualty incident by 9:52 p.m., according to the Houston firefighters' log, a trigger that doubles the number of responding firefighters. Roughly 2 minutes later, rapper Drake makes a surprise appearance on stage. The show ends around 10:12, with Scott closing it out, running about 72 minutes in all, and continuing about 42 minutes after police first reported that multiple people had been trampled.
Make it home safe. Good night!
It's just something that you'll never forget, and something that's truly traumatizing. Knowing that people died that night, and then knowing that people were asking for my help, that's just very scary. To this day, their voices don't leave my head.